the third chapter over here, and Rabbi Victor Miller, Alav Shalom, is explaining now how we were learning about how you have to have true knowledge, da'at, you have to internalize what you learn, and you have to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is behind the scenes of everything in the world, and this is a constant awareness of Emunah that you constantly have to have. And he says, now he gets into the details. Now he says, when we look at the world, we have to see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is revealing himself to us many times, many ways, and there's a purpose to everything in the creation. As the Gemara tells us in Masechet Brachot 59a, Amar Alexandria, Amar Bishu ben Levi, Lo nivru ra'amim elefshot akumiyot shebalev, shnemar ve'elohim asay shiru lefanav. The Gemara says that thunder was created by Hashem for the purpose of ironing out the wrinkles in a person's character, to straighten the crookedness of the heart, the Gemara says. So therefore you would think that what? No, maybe the thunder and the lightning, there's a scientific reason, and it creates, nitrates and fertilizer for the ground, and it's healthy, and the world needs it, and da. But ultimately, deep down, the Torah reveals this deep reason behind it is what? Okay, the lightning. Okay, I understand the rain. I understand. What's the thunder? The thunder is in order to wake people up and to say, oh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. The guy hears thunder. Bah! He goes, oh my goodness, you heard that? Hashem could destroy the world in a second. I thought Mashiach was coming, the guy said during the thunderstorm, right? And what? It's supposed to wake him up and say, wow, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in control. Wow, I'm an insignificant person. I could be here today, I could be gone tomorrow. So therefore, a person who has the crookedness in his heart and he does sins, when he hears thunder, he's supposed to wake up and he's supposed to think about what? His crookedness, and say, whoa, I have to do teshuvah. Hashem runs the world. My goodness, I can't assume I'm gonna have all the time I want. That's the purpose of the thunder. So therefore, so too everything in our life, so too everything in the world. There's a purpose behind it, and that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it, and it's up to us to try to understand and try to learn the sources of Chazal to why the HaKadosh Baruch Hu does what he does. The Gemara Masechet Ketubot says about something else interesting that we don't really know the reason for it until the Gemara tells us, and that is, why does the person have aliyah? Aliyah is the fleshy part of the lobe of the ear. So the scientists will tell you, says Victor Miller, that the reason why the ear is shaped the way it is in order to catch the sound waves. But they use vibration in order to understand the sound waves and to interpret it to our brains, and we should understand what we're hearing. But more than that is just, if it's just a cartilage, then the vibration will be too strong. You need something to muffle it. You need something to control the vibration, to make it not too intense. So therefore we have a fleshy part of the ear that absorbs a lot of the shock and a lot of the vibration, so it doesn't overdo it for our ear. But that's what the scientists will tell you. What does the Gemara say? The Gemara says, why do we have a fleshy part of our ear? In order for if you hear something you're not supposed to hear, you're supposed to stick your fleshy part of your ear into your ear. And that way you don't have to hear it. So you see what? Again, another explanation behind why we have certain things in the world is in order for us to work on something spiritually, in order for us to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made everything for a purpose. So therefore, when the scientists tell you, we don't know the reason for this, when the scientists do tell you a reason for this, it's not necessarily the truth, not necessarily the end to it all. We have to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does have a reason deep down. We have to try to find to understand it, and that's how we look at life. Well, that's why Kriyat Yam Suf. Why do we have to read Kriyat Yam Suf every day? Because when a person reads Kriyat Yam Suf and he sees the miracles that happened then, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu revealed himself, it's supposed to remind us that when we look at life, when we look at nature, we have to realize how the Rambam says, how do you get Emunah and Yirah and Hashem? You should see the world and the great parts of the world. You see Niagara Falls, you'll see the pyramids, you'll see the beautiful Swiss Alps, you'll see the Northern Lights, you'll see all these things, and you'll think about the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You'll think how HaKadosh Baruch Hu created all this, how great it is, and how insignificant I am, and how much I have to rely on Him. And if you forget, you should remind yourself, just like when you forget and you hear the thunder, you realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives out life, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu could take it. On Rosh Hashanah that's coming up, we have to be ready to ask Hashem to give us another year. So therefore, that's the whole idea of reading the Kriyat Yam Suf. They remind us, yes, there's nature, yes, there's water, yes, there's the world, but who is running it? Who is in charge of it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And who did that and was Choser B'Tshuvah 100%? Yitro. Yitro saw what Kriyat Yam Suf right away. Choser B'Tshuvah. A goy. The person says, look at the world, how complex it is, how many intricacies, how much balance. If we will be a few inches closer to the sun, we would burn up. A few inches the earth would be far away from the sun, we would freeze up. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it. It doesn't make sense. This world exists the way it is. Must be HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in charge. As the Rabbi Akiva said to the heretic, he says, prove me there is no God. He says, if I would show you this shirt I found in the desert, I would say that a bunch of rocks hit each other and created the shirt. You would believe me? He says, Haz Shalom, what are you talking about? It's obvious from the fact it's so complex that tailor must have made it. It can't be randomly. And he says, so therefore, how could you think that this world came to be just randomly? Must be there's a creator to it. It's so complex, so unbelievable. Must be there's a creator to it. And therefore, we should be looking for him. And if we forget him, Haz Shalom, we have to remind ourselves from the greatness of the world that he's always there.